From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the air, we do it air.
Now this amazing little waterfall over here on the right, this little guy, this is Trevor's waterfall. There's too many to name, so I named that one. It's not official yet, but I'm working on it. It's going to stick out there a while. From here, we're going to cross right over the top of this little branch of the canyon. This is Wailai. Be some really fun views here off both sides as we cross right up over the top of Wailai, upstream into the heart of the canyon. Then I'll take you to one of the favorites out here in the west side in Waimea, the Waipo'o Falls, up towards the back of the canyon here.
From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. It's as simple as something that nobody knows it. Her eyes are as big as her bubbly toes. On the feet of a queen of the hearts of the cards, and her feet are all covered with tar balls and scars. It's a common of something that nobody knows it. Her beauty will follow wherever she goes up the hill.
Then right up here in the heart of the canyon, you get a really good idea of how this and the other Hawaiian Islands were formed. Layer by layer, one layer at a time, just by looking into the cliff sides around us here, where you can really clearly see all of these layers of all this volcanic rock. It's all stacked up on top of each other here, one after another. Right, so this is all the product of volcanic activity, and the lava would have had to pour and cool and harden on itself time and time again, eventually forming the Hawaiian Islands. The way we can see it like this, in this shape or this form, this is just millions of years of erosion at work here. There's no roads or trails that we can use to access the bottom of the canyon. Some really nice hikes you can do from up top here. There's about 15 of them out of the state park, and one of the more popular ones is called Canyon Trail. Starts up in the back over here on the right, would bring you through to the top of this next waterfall, which is the Waipo'o Falls. You'll see it right around the corner here, and I'll swing it on the left bar as you climb up out of the back of the canyon.
Dreams are so related, though they're often underestimated. Simple as something that nobody knows. That her eyes are.
That's it there, Waipo'o Falls.
Queen of the heart of the god, feet are infested with tar balls, and la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da.
Rainbow. You can see some of the hikers up there.
Well, I was eating lunch at the DLG when this little girl came and she sat next to me. Never seen nobody move the way she did. Well, she did and she does, and she'll do it again when you move.
And over here on the left for you.
You go with the flow, you don't stop. Move like a jellyfish. Rhythm is nothing. You go with the flow, you don't stop. Coming to something that nobody knows.
Now we're going to keep climbing up here. Some really nice views of the canyon from up high as we do. And we're going to hop over the ridge over here behind us off the right, which will put us right over the top of that canyon road. I'll leave the back of the Waimea Canyon here, and I'm going to take you out towards the Nepali coast next.
You would only listen, you might just realize what you're missing. You're missing me. You would only listen, you might just realize what you're missing. You're missing me. It's simple as something that nobody knows. That her eyes are as big as her bubbly toes. On the feet of a queen of the hearts of the car. Feet are infested with tar balls.
You'll see a little pond over here on the right. This is the Pu'ulua Reservoir, and they use it to farm trout. It's a really good time. You can fish for the trout right out of the pond here. You come up here and you fish right out of the pond, and the trout fishing season opens up every year, Father's Day weekend. Last year, they told me they counted over 30,000 trout pulled out of that little pond, so there's a lot of fish in there. It's packed. I came up here last year. I was there all day, almost 10 hours. I got 4 out of 30,000. Crushed it. I'm going to have to try that again, huh? Now we'll get some really good views of the Nepali here. We're headed offshore this far ridge, and we'll twist and turn our way down the coastline. I'll show you some great stuff down here. In Nepali, it means the cliffs in Hawaiian. They say these are some of the fastest eroding or fastest changing cliffs and valleys in the whole world, and that has to do with all the rain, all the weather we get here in the islands. And we also get these really big waves off the Pacific out of the northwest during the winter months, which end up right on the base of these unprotected cliffs and coastlines. So it's all kind of playing a part. You're not going to see waves like that out here today, but during the wintertime, it's like a washing machine out here. 20, 30-foot swells coming off the Pacific here onto the base of these cliffs. Makes for some pretty big splashes. Yeah, welcome to the Nepali. Tell you what, I never get tired of doing that. We're gonna get some really nice views of the Nepali here off both sides, and we're gonna head to the north here off the right. You'll see some beaches coming into view over here on the right, and I'm going to swing them on the left for you also. There's going to be 3 of them. If you look closely at the first 2 of the 3, you'll see a rock archway connecting those 2 right in the middle, so it's one beach. It would be the Honopu Beach, Honopu Archway, and behind it is the Honopu Valley, and there's no trails to Honopu, so you're usually not going to see too many people down here. I filmed a small portion of one of the Disney Pirates of the Caribbean movies right there on Honopu. The next beach up, you'll probably see some people in tents down there, especially during the summertime. This is the Kalalau Beach, which is the end of the 12-mile hike down the Nepali coast. It'd be 24 round trip. It's the only other way that you'll see this part of the island without being in something that either floats or flies. It's hiking 24 miles in and out of Kalalau, but it's a tough one, you guys. Definitely not for your average hiker. Say it's about a 10 out of a 10 on a hiking scale. I was born and raised here on the island of Kauai. I've done the hiking to Kalalau here. I've done it once. Yeah, I need to do that again. Much better from up here. I'll put the beaches on the left right here, take you up towards the end of the Honopu Valley, which is definitely my favorite little valley on the Nepali here.
I'd like to dedicate this song to the ukulele. My best friend, y'all.
Nice views looking up towards the back of Honopu, and another great one as we head back out the front here.
Remembering the time, you would make me see, yeah, and all I ever said, is why can't that be me? Learn to trust in you, my friend, more than anything. Oh yeah, and thinking back to them summers.
Now this is all protected land out here. It's all part of the Nepali Coast State Park, which was originally formed or created in the early 1900s to protect this big valley here, which is the Kalalau Valley. So you're not allowed to camp back there at Honopu, and you need permits to camp or even hike further down the coastline. than the first 2 miles. If you do get the proper permits, which can sell out up to a year in advance, you'd be allowed to camp up here at the Kalalau Beach and Valley, or at the Hanakoa Valley, which is about halfway down the Nepali Coast Trail. And those permits, if you get them ahead of time, they'd run you about $45 per night per person.
I need to say I love you. I need to say I love you.
My best friend, y'all.
But I learned to trust in you, my friend, more than anything. Oh yeah. And thinking back to them summers on the homestead.
I'm going to face this offshore here. This will give you some really nice views of the Pali there off both sides.
You and I will fly together. Oh, after the midnight hour, it'll be just you. It'll be just me. Play for me.
So Kauai, we are the 4th largest of the 8 main Hawaiian islands. Still pretty small though, just 25 miles wide, 33 miles long. That's point to point. And we are the oldest of the Hawaiian Islands, just over 5 million years old. So it's a pretty old little island, but it definitely makes sense if you think about it. You know, it's really had the most time to kind of run through the stages of the process of forming all these cliffs and valleys, streams, rivers, waterfalls, white sand beaches, forests and vegetation, and all that great stuff that we get to see out here. And that's why they gave it the name the Garden Isle. They say it is the most beautiful of the Hawaiian Islands.
You and I will fly together. Oh, after the midnight hour, it'll be just you. It'll be just me. But I need to say I love you. And I need to say I love you. I need to say I love you. I need to say I love you.
Now we're coming up on the North Shore here out ahead of us. You can see that furthest point off in the distance there. That's Ke'e Beach, also known as the end of the road. And that's where the road ends and the trail begins up here on the North Shore of the island. So what you can do, and what most people do, is the first 2 miles of the trail. 2 miles in, 2 miles out would take you to this first beach here off the right, which is the Hanakapiai Beach. So Hanakapiai, Ke'e, and we're going to pass Ke'e. I'm going to take you over the Tunnels Reef, and then once we get over Tunnels, we'll climb up, circle back around, and get you some really fun views of the North Shore and these coral reefs from up above. And another great one, and definitely one of my favorites, is looking back down the Nepali here behind us from up north over the Tunnels Reef. If you'd like to get an idea of how big the waves can get out here, if you look into the cliff sides there towards the lower portion, you'll see where the plants stop growing there. So that's from saltwater splashing onto the cliffs, which prevents the vegetation from growing any further down the cliffside towards the ocean than that. You'll also notice the waves break on the outside of these big reefs up here. So the reef is actually protecting the shoreline from the open ocean. It absorbs all that energy off the Pacific. So you have the lagoon right here at Ke'e and the other one on the inside of Tunnels there, which are really popular for swimming and snorkeling. See how they look like little swimming pools?
Along the waterfall with you, brown-eyed girl. You're my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-da, sha-la-la?
So Tunnels Beach, Tunnels Reef over here on the right. I'll circle back around here for you.